We're constantly told to perform, to produce, to just keep climbing that ladder. But what if that's not what we're really here for? Today, we're going to dive into a framework called Coded for Alignment, and it suggests a pretty radical shift in how we look at our work, our identity, and even our own potential.
So let's just start right here, with the core idea of this whole thing. You were not born to perform, you were coded to align. Just let that sink in for a second. This one sentence really pushes back against our entire culture of achievement, doesn't it? It's suggesting our main driver isn't about hitting targets or impressing our boss, but about finding something true inside ourselves and connecting with it. This is the big shift we're going to unpack.
Okay, so if alignment is really the goal, what's so wrong with the way we do things now, with this constant focus on performance? Let's get into the problem with the model most of us are stuck in and day out.
This right here, this captures that tension that so many of us feel. Our companies, our organizations, they're all built on this old model you see on the left. They reward performance, they train us for productivity, and everything is about hierarchy. But deep down, what we're craving is everything on the right. A sense of purpose, the space to actually be present, and the freedom to express what the source material calls our human art. We're constantly caught between what the system is measuring and what actually makes us feel alive.
And here's the real personal cost of being stuck in that performance trap. We cannot outperform ourselves into wholeness. Wow, that one hits hard, right? This endless chase for more output, more praise, more recognition, it doesn't actually lead to fulfillment. More often than not, it just leads straight to burnout. This suggests that wholeness isn't some prize you win at the end of the race. It's our natural state that we have to find our way back to.
So this leads to a complete reframe of what leadership even is. It's not about climbing a ladder to get to the top. It's about changing the lens through which you see the world. It's not about your job title or your position in the org chart, but about how you see and manage yourself and how you relate to everyone else. Leadership becomes about your own internal authority, not some external power somebody gave you.
Okay, so if the performance model is broken, what's the fix? Well, the answer seems to lie in cultivating what this framework calls agency, but not as some kind of innate talent you either have or you don't. No, it's treated as a discipline, a core practice. Let's dig into what that actually means.
So, what is human agency exactly? It's defined as our ability to consciously choose, to respond, and to shape our reality. Think of it like a master key that unlocks all those other soft skills. I mean, before you can be a great communicator or collaborator, you need agency, that power to manage your own internal state and choose your response on purpose.
And that flows right into this next concept, self-authoring. So if agency is the ability to choose, then self-authoring is the responsibility to actually use that choice. It's about shifting from just playing a role someone assigned to you to actively crafting an identity that expresses who you really are. It's the difference between following a script and, well, writing your own.
And here is a really critical distinction. Agency isn't something you're just born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it requires daily, deliberate practice. You have to cultivate it with intention. It's a muscle that you have to build through consistent training.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you put it into practice? Let's look at the actual path to alignment, which breaks all this down into a really structured 4-week journey.
So the path is laid out over 4 weeks, and you can really see the logic here, how one step builds on the next. You start in week 1 by just reframing your whole idea of leadership. Then, once you've got that new mental model, week 2 is all about the inner work of self-authoring. Week 3, you take that internal work and you start applying it externally by activating your agency. And then finally, in week 4, you use all of that to deliberately design for fulfillment. It's a super clear path from mindset to practice to real-world impact.
And to make this whole journey practical, it's broken down into a simple daily rhythm. Each day has 4 parts. You get a reflection prompt to get you thinking, then a micro practice to turn that thought into a small action. You have an anchor phrase to kind of keep the idea top of mind all day, and an integration cue to help you apply it when you're with other people. This simple loop is what turns an abstract idea into a real tangible habit.
So, where does all this work actually lead? What's the point? Let's look at the ultimate goal here, designing fulfillment, not just for yourself, but for the entire culture you're a part of.
Here we go, another huge mindset shift. Our culture is constantly telling us that fulfillment has to be earned through struggle and performance. This framework just flips that idea completely on its head. It argues that fulfillment isn't a reward,
It's our natural state when we're in alignment. It's something we allow to emerge, not something we have to go out and chase down.
And this takes it even a step further. We tend to think of joy as this kind of luxury, nice to have if we're lucky. But in this model, joy is critical data. It's a signal that you or your team are operating in a state of coherence. When things are truly aligned, joy is the natural result. So in a way, joy actually becomes a key performance indicator.
When it's all said and done, the entire practice is designed to produce these 3 outcomes: to help you lead from a place of internal coherence, not chaos, to collaborate with other people from a place of clarity, not confusion, and, most importantly, to live from your own personal truth. And these aren't just nice feelings. They fundamentally change how we show up and what we're able to create in the world.
And so, this is where we end. The entire framework, from reframing leadership all the way down to those daily practices, it all leads back to this one powerful question. It shifts the source of authority from outside of you to deep within. It's asking you to stop worrying so much about what the world wants from you and to start listening to what truth wants to be lived through you.